I have literally been to hell and back 3 times.
It just breaks me. It's like, what's the point of all of this?
It's easy to talk about being positive when everything is going well in your life, when there are things to be positive about. So today, let's do some time traveling, because I haven't always been this positive and bubbly. I'm actually diagnosed with anxiety and clinical depression. I was diagnosed when I was 18, but I was in therapy since I was 16, 17. I've been on and off more pills than some rappers. I've had a number of attempts. I have literally been to hell and back 3 times to get to this point in my life where I'm now telling people, oh, be positive. I'm trying not to get emotional, guys. I'm like, this is actually not emotional at all, but it's hard to talk about if you've ever been in that situation. So today's little message on everything happens for a reason is for people that were once who I was a few years ago. I always thought, what would the me 3 years ago have wanted or needed? And therapy may work for some people, meds may work for some people, but they didn't work for me. So after 3-4 years of being on and off and different antidepressants, countless therapists, counsellors, NHS, CBT stuff, for the first time in 5 years of my life of dealing with anxiety and depression, I'm completely off antidepressants, and I have been for at least 2 years now. And weirdly, I have been so much better during this time than I ever have. And I always think if I was to be re-evaluated now, my doctors would probably be like, do you know what, maybe we got that diagnosis right, or wrong I mean, or somehow you've healed, because I genuinely think I have healed from my mental health issues. And that weirdly came at a time when I stopped taking my antidepressants. Now, this isn't to tell you to stop taking it, it's just I substituted that for other things that helped me. And the biggest thing that helped me was this positive mindset thing that I'm trying to encourage you to develop more of. Positive thinking quite literally saved my life. I'm not exaggerating this. And I hope it can save at least one person's life, or anyone that is in that situation, right? I have created a few videos about the different methods and things I did that helped me heal my mental health and depression. But today, I wanted to talk about the biggest thing, which was motivation. So I'm a very sensitive person. I feel emotions very deeply. So when I'm sad, I get really deeply sad, like to the core. Like my soul feels sad and heavy. But the positive thing is, when I'm happy, I feel it to the max. So I just feel all spectrums of emotions, but the maximum level of it. So to get to that point, I had to do a lot of self-reflection, and one way was through journaling, which I've spoken about in almost every video. I have a routine that I had to force myself into, and now it's just part of my life, where every single morning I journal, and I just tell myself, just fill 3 pages writing about anything. And what I implemented in this journaling was practicing gratitude. So again, at first it was forced. You honestly have to fake it till you make it. So at first, and even till this day, this morning, the first lines I write is, I am grateful and blessed to be alive, to experience this earth, to meet the people I've met now, to be able to experience nature, the sun, the feeling of the warmth of the sun on my skin, to have my family, my friends, sometimes even little things like to have just woken up from the comfort of my own bed, of my own home. And at first, when I wrote these, I didn't actually feel the gratitude. I was just saying that because I saw apparently doing that helps. So I basically faked it until I started feeling that emotion. Yeah, I basically trained my brain to see gratitude and the positives and joys and even the littlest things, because by journaling, I also realised, oh, okay, yes, I'm always feeling sad, but it's because my brain focuses on all the sad things. And as I said, I'm an emotional and sensitive, like, guys, I'm trying not to cry whilst talking about this. I'm an emotional and sensitive person. So because my mind was only focusing on the negatives, I was just constantly in a down mood. And that's what I mean by I've literally been to hell and back. I'd get so low, like I remember told you guys I'm sensitive. I remember I'd get home after work in my old job, and I literally, I'm a bit melodramatic, I literally be sat on the floor of my bedroom, like holding my chest like this, like hitting it and crying, like, oh, it's so weird to think back to that time. And so by journaling, I realised, okay, I'm feeling these emotions deeply, but the moments when I was happy, I liked those moments. So I was like, okay, I need to find a balance. A lot of my sadness came from like stuff going on in my life, and also like stuff going on in the world. Guys, I'm holding it in, I'll be fine. So I couldn't just ignore them, and that's something I need you to understand. I'm saying be positive, think positively, but I'm not saying ignore the negatives and stuff going on, and ignore when things don't work out, because those can also be lessons. Those can also strengthen you. I'm saying, like, I needed to just find a balance. Like, it's okay to be aware of negatives in your life and to process it and grieve it and be angry about it or sad about it. That's okay, we're human, you're allowed to do that. If you need to cry, do it, okay? But there's also so much beauty in the world, and it's important to appreciate that as well. So that's why I started focusing heavily on positivity. My mind was already like a negativity engine, so I had to like use propaganda against myself and program my brain to also hyper focus on the positives, to find that balance of joy and sadness, so I can feel a whole spectrum of emotions and not like be untethered or lose my mind. So yeah, by focusing on little things, like now I get emotional when I see a butterfly or little birds. Like, my colleagues always think I'm weird. I'll be at work and I'll spot a butterfly fly and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a butterfly. But the reason is because I read a story about how someone was watching a butterfly, well, it was still a caterpillar, and it was trying to break out, and it decided to help the butterfly. Actually, I think it was from a K-drama, and this lady decided to help the caterpillar by cutting the thingamajig, the cone thingy, and that helped, and the butterfly came out of its cocoon thingy. But as soon as it flew, it just flopped and died. And she later learned, forcing the chrysalis process and trying to help the caterpillar instead of letting the caterpillar do it itself, actually made its wings weak. So the story, and this is literally in nature, you can get so many lessons in nature, which is why I love it, but I digress. For butterflies, by pushing through and getting through the chrysalis themselves, the harder they fight through and break out of the shape thingy, the harder they do that, the stronger their wings are, and the stronger their wings are, the easier it is for them to fly and soar high. But because the lady tried to help the butterfly and basically did the chrysalis process for the butterfly, it ended up coming out of its chrysalis process of weaker wings and died shortly after. So that's one reason why I get emotional about seeing butterflies. Yeah, and the lessons I got from learning about this caterpillar to butterfly process was that it's okay to embrace the difficult and challenging stuff. Scream if you need to, cry if you need to, grieve if you need to, but don't dwell on it. And also to understand that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the bad things happen to teach you a lesson, to teach you humility, to teach you resilience, to teach you strength. Sometimes bad things just happen. I was reading a blog the other day, and this woman was rightfully upset because she just lost her baby, and people kept telling her like everything happens for a reason, and she was like, that feels really insensitive. Like, people were telling her God must have a plan, and she's there like, I'm grieving right now, I don't need to hear this. And that made me stop and think about like what I'm trying to teach or encourage. Rather, I'm not a teacher, I'm just speaking from my life experiences and hoping it helps you. And that made me think, like, you don't need to believe in a God to believe everything happens for a reason. Even if you think there's no meaning to life, right, and nothing happens for a specific reason, you can create that meaning. I think that's even better than believing that there's a God creating this meaning. You put the power in your own hands. So whether you believe in God or not, put the power in your hands. Everything happens for a reason because you've chosen that meaning. I spoke about my first and only relationship really a couple of videos ago, where I ended up breaking up with my ex, and afterwards realizing that I'd never loved him and this relationship wasn't right for me, right? But do you know the thing? I don't regret that relationship at all. Yes, sometimes I think, oh, I wasted my time, but I don't regret it. I gave meaning to that myself by saying it taught me what love is and is not. It taught me what I am like in a relationship. It taught me what I like and dislike. It taught me what I will tolerate and not tolerate, especially because I'd never been in a relationship before, right? So I chose that meaning. I decided everything happens for a reason, and that situation was that it's taught me things about what I don't want in a relationship. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I say everything happens for a reason, but it's not, you don't have to believe in a God to believe that. You create that meaning and purpose for yourself. So yeah, today I just wanted to speak to the me 3 years ago that was crawling her way out of hell, literally. The me 3 years ago that was battling demons that people would never understand, because now they see my videos of me all bubbly and cheery and they think they know my story. And for you who's watching that may be going through similar experiences, so yeah, remember everything happens for a reason. Sometimes it may not be a good reason, sometimes it could be a lesson teaching you resilience, humility, or sometimes you just create that meaning for yourself.